God pulled the switch. From that moment, the whole world was plunged into darkness. The king loved to start wars. His soldiers were always fighting, but God just wanted a good night's sleep. When the king saw it turn dark, he took out a flashlight and shone its beam onto the battlefield. God, who was just about to fall asleep, was awakened again. He had no choice but to flip the switch back. Then, he aimed a showerhead toward the world. As water droplets fell, a heavy rain poured down. Soon, a flood began to slowly drown the entire world. God thought he could finally get some sleep, but the king actually built a submarine. Not long after, the sounds of war woke God again. The battlefield had moved from the land to the ocean. Seeing this, God strained to pull a chain and yanked off the plug. The floodwaters rapidly receded, but even with the ship stranded, the war continued. The soldiers fought their way from the sea back to the land. On the king's orders, they kept on killing. God had to devise a new plan. He secretly went down to the human world and built a stadium. Sure enough, the soldiers put down their weapons and went to participate in the games. But it wasn't long before God was awakened again by the noise of war. The soldiers were fighting once more, this time over control of the stadium. God was furious. He looked at this warmongering king and picked up the telephone beside him. On the other end, Satan received the order and dispatched 2 of his underlings. The king didn't realize his actions had brought trouble. He was still busy directing the battle. The underlings emerged from underground, took the king, and rode an elevator down to hell. When the king was brought to his destination, he was completely baffled. Satan was still quite polite to him. He very courteously invited the king to enter a prison cell. On the way to the cell, the king saw a young man pushing a giant stone ball up a slope. After locking the king in the cell, Satan even secured the lock himself. As Satan and the others left, the young man pushing the stone was running downhill. Watching this foolish young man, the king conceived a bold idea. When the young man ran past the king's cell, the king grabbed him. The king asked him to help open the heavy lock. The young man agreed without a second thought. After the king stepped out, he promptly locked the young man inside the cell. The young man offered no resistance. Perhaps pushing the stone ball uphill every day was just too exhausting. The king didn't really understand it. He secretly left that place and began climbing back toward the land he loved.